Did you get your
Hey,
poppies down?
I did, yeah. Lay down before the rain. So all success. Pro-
Biscuit, did you say?
Right, how we doing?
Oh, yeah. No, I
mate.
didn't hear you. I was wondering if your mic is working.
We all stay quiet and that really confuse you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, what's up, man?
Those poppies are lasting well, Mike.
Yeah. We took them down today, so before the rain came.
I had no idea.
A bit of weather coming in, I think. So
Yeah.
You've finished a fair few hours up on the castle every week, didn't you?
yeah, I probably do about 8-10 hours a week on different things. If it's not up there, it's meeting people and doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Television.
It's funny enough, as I said to you earlier, we were sort of sworn to secrecy about it all, more or less.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like anything. It's like a sort of council thing. You go through a whole rigmarole of paperwork. We had to be interviewed by the guy that does it, and he sort of interviewed about 6 of us about what we do. It was for about 40 minutes, I suppose, about what you do, how you do it, when you do it, why you do it, who you do it with. And there was all sort of sections of sort of what goes on there. Unfortunately, I was sort of concerned with a few different sections, so I sort of got the lion's share of interviews. But
you
good.
You came over well on it, mate. Very professional. I think it's all your apprenticeship on the surface, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I bumped into Gary after I was talking to you this morning. I don't know if I told you or him, but when we were up there, we were waiting there, and it came to about 6 o'clock, and we were due to have another meeting. Okay. So I said to the guy, I said, "Look, can we do it? So because we got to get away, sort of thing." And they'd been there about an hour, and he said, "Yeah, it'd be about another 14 minutes." I said, "Why 14 minutes?" He said, "Oh, did nobody tell you we're going out live?" And all right, yeah, that's good. So he gave me a thing, and I had to do a closing strap line, which the closing strap line was the Beating Heart of Mumbles, if you've seen it. And all I was trying to think of all the time is, how am I going to get this into the conversation?
Oh, you did it well. You slid it in there.
Yeah. But it's good. I mean, those things are okay. I mean, it's always hard being interviewed, though. I mean, even if you sitting here now, I mean, with you guys just talking, but if you suddenly got to present, if I was doing a presentation or something, it's a completely different thing, isn't it? You sort of got, even with people you know. In fact, it's worse with people you know.
I tell you what, when I'm playing, it's harder to play to 5 people than it is to play to 5,000.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because they're right in your face,
Well, I think I said this before. When I was during COVID, I had my failed attempt to learn the guitar, and one of the things we had to sort of sing at the same time as playing, and it's a bit like doing that, if you know what I mean. I thought, trying to play and sing and remember the words and everything, but you just sing it to one person. And it's sort of a bit weird, if you're in a pub and you're doing karaoke, it's fine, but you suddenly standing there and singing to somebody, I found it very weird. That got to admit.
I can remember I went for a job with the RNLI as a local area rep, and part of the interview was I had to make I think it was something like a 15-minute presentation on fundraising in the area, one thing and another, and talk about the RNLI and the boat and one thing. And it's a subject that I really felt a lot about, and I felt do. So instead of a 15-minute presentation, I could stand there and I was waffling on as far as my rehearsals were concerned, for 25 minutes. Because I thought, the more they get, the more they're going to like it. In the interview, they turned around, they said, right, we want you to do your presentation, and we will stop you exactly at 15 minutes. I thought, oh, fuck. All of a sudden, from what I was going to say, I didn't know what to say, and I did. The presentation was absolute crap. I was fully aware that I was waffling instead of making a presentation.
Confidence goes in, doesn't it? When you had it all prepared, and all of a sudden, oh shit, it's not going to work.
I was prepared for 45 minutes, and they stopped me.
Yeah. I did a television thing once about somebody, couple who had a driveway tarmac, and it all went tits up. And the girl from the one show knew her words off by pat because she was practicing. She asked me a question about something, so I rattle on. So yeah. Tell you what, can we just go over that again? I said, I can't remember what I said. Speak for 5 minutes. He said, yeah, that's okay. Can you just repeat all that? I said, no way. I'll try and talk about the same thing again, but it'll all come out different.
Yeah, funny enough, the girl that did the one with us, or the woman, she did two practice runs because it was a bit longer, and she did exactly that. Everything was different both times.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ask you a slightly different question, but they want you to say the same answer. But I got no chance.
Yeah. Well, it's all fun. It's a bit like I don't know. Did you do the one with the skateboard, Con? Or am I imagining that? Were you interviewed for that, or was that?
Yeah, many times
on plywood.
Yeah. Well, I had talking to yourself. I had to interview myself.
All right.
Because they sent me over the camera and the microphone and all this kind of business, and I did it up in the attic of my girlfriend's mother's at that time, and I had to do it all myself. I sort of think about the questions that somebody might ask or something like that, and at first it was just like a disaster. I thought, well, what are you doing talking to a camera? What the heck is this? But in the end, I got used to it. So I redid the ones I did in the first time, and they were about 10 times better. Well, they weren't mega good, but they were 10 times better than it was when it was really bad.
Yeah. It's strange when you watch yourself back then. You say things like people say or or in the middle of every sentence. And you don't realize it until you watch yourself.
When you see yourself, you think, "Oh, that couldn't be me. Surely not. I don't talk like that, do I?" Oh shit!
Yeah. Who's that old git?
Yeah. It's like what you say, Gary. When you're you know your subject and you're passionate into it, you find that there aren't many ums and ahs at all,
I know. Yeah.
Hang on, I'm thinking of something to say now.
When they said they're going to stop me exactly at 15 minutes, as I was talking, I was mentally editing my 45-minute dialogue that I had. So it just came out with abject crap in the end.
Did anybody sort of pre-warn you that that's what you'd be expected to do?
No. Well, they said that they were going to ask me for a 15-minute interview, and I thought, if I can talk for 35 minutes, it's got to be better. So that's what I intended to do. But they said, no, we're going to stop you exactly at 15 minutes.
Because that's always strange when you get interviewed by a panel as well, isn't it? I always find that a bit strange because on one-on-one, I'm okay. I can sort of read people pretty quick. But when there's sort of 4 or 5 people and there's somebody asking a question, you see the lady at the end with the glasses is looking for a completely different answer to the person asking the questions. You're trying to find an answer that's somewhere in between, please, and both. And you end up talking absolute crap for 5 minutes instead.
I remember I actually went for a job interview once, only one time. It was when the dole was starting to clamp down a little bit, and they said, look, you haven't done anything for the last million years. About time we should send you for this job as a van driver. I said, well, I'm not really into being a van driver. I'd rather go surfing, like. So So as it was like in those days, you know. So I had no interest in getting this job at all, none whatsoever. Um, um, uh, no, but so right along this, I got to the interview, and there's about 10 people sitting on the chairs, like a waiting room for a doctor, you know, or dentist even, you know, and they'd all got their briefcases and collars and ties and everything. I mean, for a fucking van driving job, you know. And so I'm in slacks and flip flops and a t-shirt, you know, perfect job interview, you know. Say, cool, let me drive, man. Yeah, cool, come on. So they're all looking at me as if I'm from a zombie from another planet, you know, something like that. I said, I the boys, all right, after the van driver job, is it? And he said, yeah. I said, but don't worry, I'm not going to put up too much protest, all right? He said, oof. And they all went, whoa. No, man. But the guy was, and funny enough, I almost got a bloody job. He said to me, he said,
Stop,
at least you look fit and you're honest. He said, you don't really want this job, do you? I said, no, I don't. I'll be honest with you again. I don't want this job. It's not that I don't want to work for you. Just I don't want this job. I like to go surfing, and I'm quite happy the way I am, you know. And so I came here to keep up with my dole, you know. So I didn't get my dole stopped. He said, oh, yeah, well, I see that, the way you came in. But you got something about you, you know. It gives me confidence. I'm thinking about asking if you want the job. I said, no, look, don't worry about it, you know. Don't worry. There's somebody out there and really needs a job. I don't really need a job, you know. And he was laughing like fuck. It was really funny. But if I'd really wanted a job and I was all dressed up to do it, then I wouldn't have been the same person, would I?
No.
Now you got me thinking, what does dole mean?
Dole. It means get.
I know what you. I know
It
what
means
it
sponsored by the government to go surfing.
It's a bit of a strange word, isn't it? You don't use
Dole,
it
yeah. On the
in
dole.
anything else.
Dole, yeah.
What do they call it now then? There must be another terminology used by
Oh, it's job seeker. Job seeker, isn't it?
Job seeker and universal credit, I think.
I'm a job seeker on universal credit.
There's somebody I know who runs a small contracting company, and they're desperate for workers. So they went to the employment place, the DSSP, wherever they go, and I said, right, I need people. They're right, we'll send you 10 people for interviews. And I give them the list of names, and he says, great, you know. Of the 10 names, I think 6 actually, no, 3, only 3 of them came.
Brilliant.
And none of those 3 didn't want the job anyway. They just had to do it to get the little tick box. And one of them said, oh, it doesn't really matter, because once you've accepted you're going to go for an interview, the paperwork stops there. They don't check if you've ever been for the interview.
Yeah.
The fact you said you're going to go for the interview is enough for them to carry on paying you the money. He said, he said, there's one lad said, oh, I just came on just to see what the crack was, really. I didn't really want the job, but, just in case it was any good.
It used to be the dole, you know, you'd go in there and you could, back when we were younger, it was jobs. You could walk out of one job and go into another job the next day if you wanted to, basically. No matter what you wanted to do. But you could basically find some money to get some, you find a way to get some money. And but the dole was like, it wasn't like it was today. I was talking to Morgan about it actually, and she was saying, oh yeah, I stopped trying to get it because there was so much paperwork involved, and you got to apply for so many jobs, about 28 jobs a month or something, or something like that, and you got to have proof for that, and you got to go to so many interviews, and what the fuck? When in my day you go in to sign on, every 2 weeks, or it was every week at one moment. It was hard. It was hard. It was hard.
Once a week.
Once a week, I had to go in there, all the way down to town. Oh God, stress. Anyway, so you go in and they said, you've been looking, how's it going on a job seeking? And how you doing? Oh, great, thanks. Oh, great, I'm glad to hear it. And that was it, like, sign here. That was it.
Yeah, I did it once when I was in college. I came home because college finished for Christmas. I came home, I thought I'd better sign on and get some money. And the guy said, "Oh, I got your job. It starts on January it starts before Christmas and finishes, about 2 weeks after the New Year." I said, "Well, I start college a week before that." "Oh, so you're not taking the job then?" I said, "No, I want to take a job. I need the money." He said, "But you're not taking the job." I said, "No, because I'm actually going to be in college. I got to go back to college then." "Oh, so you're not taking the job then?" Well, no, I had this like Monty Python bloody argument with him. He said, "Okay, I'm not having a job, so you're not getting any money." I thought, well, it's just bonkers. I suppose they were on a bonus scheme, I think, to get as many people off the dole as possible.
Where was the Dole
Strike
office?
you off.
In Wine Street. Why can't I remember this?
No,
Top end of Wine. There was one at the top end of Wine Street. That's the one I went to. No, I went that one after I finished.
it was in High Street, wasn't it? There was one in High Street.
Street,
Lewis, is it? No, something, no.
not where
Yeah.
B is, wasn't
That's
it?
where the job centre used to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thankfully, I only ever went there once, but yeah,
Wasn't it opposite the old fire station there?
no,
Or just up a little bit, up towards the police station, just a little bit. But
Yeah, it was. It was a big one there, wasn't it?
yeah, there was a job place there.
Yeah, I remember going. That's the one I went to, I think.
And then they moved it to High Street. In the upstairs
The
bit
top end of High Street, isn't it? Yeah.
in the upstairs bit of one of the big shops. I think it was Lewis or something like that.
yeah, that's the one I remember. The one that was just up from where Lewis used to be. Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, boys. Yeah.
Yeah. But what you just said about flip flops, Colin, I moved up to London. I was in Chiswick. It was one of those very sunny days. I was wearing flip flops, green sort of light cord Wranglers, and a t-shirt. And I went past London Transport, and it said vacancies, electricians. And I thought, I'll ask at security. And security said, "Yeah, go down there." So I went into personnel, and they said, "Yeah, go there." And they happened to be interviewing that day. I didn't know. So I went, they sent me in this room, and there was two guys in suits there. And they were waiting to be interviewed. And then they went in, I went in there, and there was three guys sitting there. And they sort of looked at me, and they must have thought, has he just come off the beach or something? I was quite tanned, and I had this t-shirt on. I forget what it was. I think it was a Bilbo t-shirt, to be honest. And I definitely have flip-flops on. And I remember looking down at them, and they all had sort of black polished shoes on, and they looked a bit sort of thing, and red ties and suits. I actually got the job, but it was a very strange sort of thing. And, I think it was the second day I moved up there. I hadn't planned on getting a job for sort of, till my money ran out, basically. Yeah, I got it, but it actually turned out to be a good place to work.
Where was that? In London?
That was the London Transport, where they had the skid pan there for the buses. They did all the driving, but there was a big factory there, sort of thing. It's all flats, and it's a shopping centre now, I think. But there's people from all over work there, sort of thing. Mind you, I seem to be the only Welsh bloke that was called Taff.
No, never.
Yeah.
He called you Taff?
Yeah.
Bastards.
Which confused a lot of people, because when you meet other people and they start calling you a different name to what the other people know you, it gets very confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I lived in Chiswick. So after about 2 years, you go out, you meet people, and it was people from work and people like in the darts team or whatever. And when they come together, some call me Mike and others call me Taff, and it was a bit weird sort of thing. I still find it a bit weird now being called that, but people still do call me that when I meet them from my work, which was sort of 50 years ago nearly now.
I think
So
out of all the
nobody
interviews
called you Primo.
Eh?
Nobody called you Primo then.
No, no.
Hmm.
Just lucky that people here didn't meet the people up there. Otherwise, that would have been confusing.
Oh, you
I
got
think
to biscuit.
out of all the interviews I did with different companies, I think BT, I don't know if Gary felt the same, they were the most inept, useless at doing an interview. They'd ask the most ridiculous questions, talk a lot of crap, but they obviously didn't know what they were talking about. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I remember the interview I had to get onto BT because I always swore that I would never go there. I wanted to go because all my family did, and I wanted to be something different. And they said to me, are you afraid of heights? And I can remember saying, and it's a few years ago now. I said, no, I got no fear of heights. I said, work on roofs, fair way up. I said, I'm got a problem with heights. Or climbing a pole is very different to, being up on a roof. And I said, oh, how do you say that? And it's a bloody sight safer on a pole than it is on a roof. Because you start sliding on a roof and you've got bugger all to grab hold of. So at least you've got something physical to grab hold of on a pole. But and internal interviews, they were flipping useless at as well. They'd ask you the most ridiculous questions. But there we are.
I think that's a psychological test, isn't it? Ask you a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but I can.
somebody once asked me, "Do I like mice?"
Yeah, I remember going for one internal, which would have been a totally different. I think it was something to do with sales. Yeah, it was to do with sales. And the line of questioning was, who was the manager of such and such a department? And I didn't have a bloody clue. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, and 5 minutes when you're saying, sorry, I don't know, seems like as if it lasts a long time. And after about 10, 15 minutes, I said, this obviously isn't going very well. And it started off as well that I went into work. I think my interview was something like 10 o'clock. I went into work and then went down to Wine Street in my van in my working clobber and walked into this interview with everybody else that was in work. That all of a sudden had their suits on and, as you say, black shiny shoes, and I had like working clobber on, and I thought, oh, this isn't going to be a very good impression. But needless to say, I didn't get it. But,
I was hoping for a much better outcome than that.
Yeah.
I thought they would have said, "Yeah, you're in. You're the sort of boy for us."
yeah. I think most of those jobs are already lined up before you've applied for it anyway.
More or less.
There's a lot of that when I was young. I had a job lined up for me when I was about 13 years old. And didn't I know? It's like serving a prison sentence, getting down to the day you got to start to work, And then you went into the prison sentence.
Actually, not very long ago. It's only about 12 years ago. I was looking for a job for about 6 months till I moved down here. And there's a place called National Physical Laboratories. It's actually where they made the bouncing bomb. It's got a big long thing where they sort of did the bouncing bomb there back in the 40s, I think it was. But they look at sort of animals and things like that, how they can sort of manipulate, do things. I thought that's an interesting place to work, so I went for an interview there. And it was basically an electrical sort of place. So I went there, got the job, turned up on Wednesday, whenever it was, and they took me around and said, "Oh, you'd also be expected to clean the MD's car." I thought, well, hang on a minute. I don't mind cleaning cars, yeah, but I didn't think that's what I was employed for. If I was so, I actually started at 8 o'clock and finished at 8:45.
Mm.
And went home.
I just walked off. Yeah, I said, "No, I'm not doing that. Sorry." I said, even asking me, he said, "No, no, no, we can sort something out." I said, "No, you even asked me, that's enough." So I went. And I got back and Sharon said, "You finished?" I said, "Oh, I resigned." I was only gone 2 hours.
Brilliant.
But there is some, you've got to draw a line, haven't you, somewhere. I mean, if I had a job cleaning cars, I'd be fine. I'd get into it and enjoy it, but I wasn't, so I didn't. But anybody had any weird jobs?
Yeah, I worked in CJ's.
Yeah,
We all worked in CJs at some point.
Yeah.
I never worked at CJ. I was a customer there quite a few times, but never
No, what
worked.
was the one on St. Helens Road, Con? It wasn't CJ's. Greens, it was.
Green.
Greens, yeah. Me and Felix.
Go.
I was over Christmas period. I put about a stone of weight on because every time anybody wanted steaks, it was like one for them, one for me. The worst thing we did though was just me and Felix left there, ridiculous, to run the bloody restaurant. No experience, and he said, "Oh, I gotta get the chickens out." So Felix goes upstairs, gets the frozen chicken out of the deep freeze. We stick it in the microwave, press the button. It's all cooked nice and golden brown on the outside. We cut it open, still got plastic bag in the middle, isn't it? With frozen giblets in it. Being none the wiser, cut all the nice, crispy, nicey chicken bits off, served it up. And a couple of days later, the guy who was running it, there was a tall bloke, I can't remember his name. He said, "I've had all these people complaining, they've all got food poisoning. I don't know where it's come from." "Oh, I got no idea, mate. Don't look at me." But, given a job as a bloody chef, I've never done it before in my life. But that was the way it was.
That tall bloke, Rob, he had something to do with local radio as well, didn't he?
It's something to do, because he was hardly ever there. He was out doing other stuff.
He's about 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did another job then at the same time, driving a bloody delivery van. What a job that was. Up the valleys, delivering chemists, drugs and stuff. A mission, that was.
Taking drugs to the valleys, you've done well there. So.
Yeah, I know. Lucky to get out alive, I think.
Yeah. They have someone riding shotgun with an M16.
Only afterwards I thought to myself, I got this van full of, and there were probably, some hard stuff in there, delivering up the valleys to these little chemists. You think, well, hang about, if someone was to stop me, they'd take the bloody lot. But it didn't happen, thankfully. We had to tell the tale.
Yeah. Got away with that one.
Yeah. No, I haven't done any odd job. Anybody else done any strange jobs?
I have, obviously, because I asked the question. But
yeah. What other ones you done there, Mike?
Well, I when I left London Transport, I took over a voluntary redundancy, and there was a little place near me with a group of American hamburger restaurants. So I went to work for them doing maintenance. They went into liquidation after I'd been there for 3 years, and I ended up managing the restaurant in Wimbledon, and I did that for about a year. I was in Wimbledon Village, so it's a lovely little place. Only busy during the tennis season. They got taken over then by a group called Pentley's of Piccadilly, and they put me down at the head office, which is just also Oxford Street, in their sort of their main place. And what it does really is serves oysters and champagne. It's that sort of place. And for some reason, I don't know why it was, I became assistant manager, and I was completely and utterly out of my depth. I didn't have a clue.
You winged it anyway, Mike.
Oh no! After about a month, I said, "No, I can't do this." So I said, "Look, I'll go back and do maintenance," because the guy that was used to the maintenance is gone. So they had a different group then called Oodles, and they had a lot of different places all over the place. Like they had a place in Camden Lock. I forget the name of the place now. That used to do live music. It'll come to me in a minute. So that was it. I mean, you had bands like Blondie and things like that. They're Sex Pistols. That it was that sort of era. And they also had 3 strip clubs in Soho. And so I had to go there and work as well sometimes. And one month, I don't know why it was, and you're going to say, yeah, of course you did. I was there for about sort of 3 weeks of the out of the month.
Never went home in that period either, Mike.
I got fed up with it in the end. Seeing all these women around sort of parading naked, it wasn't fun at all. So, but yeah, it was an interesting job though. I mean, it was interesting to see how they worked and how they fleeced customers. And I'd never ever buy a drink in one of those places.
No.
Because you get probably 40% water in any drink. Yeah. And even then, I'm going back now, 20 odd years, 25 years. Even then, it was sort of like a £5 a drink then. So it's probably near sort of 25 quid now for a whiskey or something. But and the girls always managed to get a drink out of it as well. Yeah. So every time you had a drink, it was about 50 quid.
Did you ever bought any, no, Mike?
Sorry?
Not that you ever had to buy any.
I never bought any, no, you didn't have to buy anything. I mean, I got fed up with hamburgers as well. I was in the hamburger restaurants, but that's another story. But Camden Lock was good because you met a lot of sort of people there. I didn't know who they were at the time, sort of thing, but later on, they were all sort of quite well-known bands, sort of thing. Madness were there, people like that sort of thing. But yeah, it was interesting. And that was another place. You talk about, what was the one in town where you stuck to the floor? Dirty Doras.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bit like that. You go in there in a day and it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Like there's chewing gum stuck in the corners of everywhere, and the floor, you walk on it, you sort of got to lift your leg up to get one foot in front of the other, sort of thing. And the stage was just a mass of tape. That's all it was, tape. Nothing else. That they sort of, I don't know what, they tape the mics down or something, do they, the cables? Con, you probably know this.
It might be markers.
Oh, I don't know, but all it was tape everywhere.
It's markers for where you stand to get the spot.
Yeah, all right.
You like spots and stuff like that.
I wasn't that end.
They're organised group, they're sort of, they have the dance, not dance rhythm, but it's all pre-arranged where they're going to be when they're doing a certain number,
Dingwalls, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Dingwalls, yeah. And yeah, but it wasn't a big stage, only probably about 12 foot by 8 foot. But it was just tape. It was very, nobody ever took it up. Just left it there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It
Perhaps
could
a normal thing.
It could be someone's famous tape.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's probably. I wonder if it still exists. Have a look, because
I tell you what exists as well. Collectors of lists, song lists.
Yeah.
I'd always, with a moment, I'd always get someone come up and ask me for a song list. The one I was using but the one I was using on stage.
Right, yeah.
Because I had a load of them,
Well, is there a proper name? Set. That's the word.
Set list, yeah. Well done, Mike. Well done. Yeah. Keep learning the guitar, you learned something there. Yeah. But another one I had talking about music is in Copenhagen. I got the job up in Copenhagen, which is like you go there for a month and you work 24/7, And nobody told me, so I'd been working hard, getting myself up to 3 sets of 3/4 an hour, Because here in France, you do 2 sets of 3/4 an hour. Cool. But up there, I thought, I'd do 3 sets, I got up there, and it's 4 sets of an hour, or 3/4 an hour, maybe. And on a weekend, it's 5 sets. So I got there on a Thursday and I was set to play on a Saturday. So I learned about 30 songs to learn in 2 days, sort of thing, in a flat. Oh God, talk about winging it. And no words on a stand either.
Yeah. You can even have in your glasses now, can't you? You can wear a pair of glasses and the words come across.
It was real. He used to call us the troubadours, you know. And if you didn't know your words, you shouldn't be on. That was them, you know. The Scandinavians, they're great people, fantastic, but they know the words. They all know the words. I right one night I was singing something, and I was just ad libbing like fuck, you know. One love or something like that. I couldn't remember the second verse, you know. So I just made it up on the spot. And got this fucking Norwegian comes up to me in a pause, and oh, you know, when you are singing in one love, you have to know the words, you know. It is like our national anthem in Norway. If you did that in Norway, in Oslo, is it Oslo? Yeah, Oslo. If you did that there, you would be shot. Oh, okay. And he was serious, you know. I thought he was taking a piss one time, you know, but no, he was serious.
Yeah, just take the piss off. Your words were the right ones, and his words were the wrong ones.
But then, you know, when you come back to France, then it's great because you could just, you know, sing the first backwards 3 times, and then mix up the first and the last verse, and you got your song, sort of thing, you know. And nobody knows the difference. They don't speak English, basically. Or if they do, they don't speak it well enough.
So are you saying when the French sing songs, they don't understand them at all?
No.
They just move them. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, oh, you know, hey, oh.
So it's a bit like us singing French songs then.
Exactly. Like Frere Jacques.
Or what I realised recently, the Welsh national anthem, where people sing completely different words.
Oh God, I got 2 or 3 versions of the Welsh national anthem.
Did I send you? I don't know if I sent you that thing, Con, about it had words that are similar in 4 different languages.
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah, I did. I put it on the thing, didn't I?
Yeah.
There was Bretagne as well there.
Breton, Braisenegg.
How do you pronounce it?
Braisenegg, Bretagne.
What's the other one? What was it? Was it
Braisenegg?
Yeah.
Braisenegg.
What's that?
Brittany.
Yeah. That goes pinching our language.
I was working for the corporation in Conibear one time, and everybody spoke Breton. And I only had a contract for a year. You know, it was on road maintenance. You know, cutting down trees, bits of trees and stuff like that. And everybody used to speak Breton all the time. In the end,